Hey guys, all right, it's Orion here. It is Monday, April the 17th, and I'm just going to talk about my trade today on CBLI. We had a little watch list going last night of some stocks. Here's some of the stocks we had last night from our watch list. We had ADPT, Cali, CBIO, iTech, JNUG, Naked, and Nevet, NEVT. And then this morning we pulled HTGM and CBLI off the pre-market scan. So CBLI looked like it was setting up nicely. Marked up a couple of spots for some resistance and support levels here. 205, 235 was a pre-market high. And then it kind of sold off here a little bit. And then right at the open, it kind of just went to go pop up, came up into this 249, kind of 240. Resistance, and it couldn't really break it. So I was just kind of looking at the $0.50 there. That's what I had marked down anyways. After the pre-market high, I looked immediately to the $0.50 whole dollar. What's the next closest resistance point, unless I see some other prior resistance based off the daily chart. I'll just flip over the daily chart really quick so you can have a look at it. It was gapping up. Here it was already well over this 208. So the next possible resistance was kind of in this 260s. It had kind of grinded down here, so around 260, 264 was the next possible resistance point. So I decided that over the $0.50 I would get long. So I first, hold on, it came down here, it sold off, then it started grinding up, and right about here I'd put in my buy stop limit order for over the $0.50 because I thought, okay, if it's going to come up and it's going to start to move, I would like to see it kind of push up, get over the $0.50. It'll grab my order, and then maybe away it goes, and I could grab 20-cent profit or something like that. I had my stop loss. I'm running a manual stop loss, but it's 10 cents. So as soon as I see the bid starting to get chewed up 10 cents below what my order's at, I'll just hit the bid and get out. I sometimes catch a little bit of slippage, 1 or 2 cents, but not much. Today my slippage was, just hold on a sec here. My slippage was 257 and I got a 245, so 2 cents slippage on that one. So not too bad, could be worse. So anyways, I got long on this candle here. As soon as it broke over the $0.50, it popped up to a high of 261, and then it pulled back to 243. Obviously, I got long at 257, so I was out as soon as I saw it go down. Came, turned, got bought back up, ended up closing at 256 on this candle. Opened at 255 and pushed up to a high of 269 before it then kind of hesitated here and then pushed up on the next candle to a high of 278. So, if I'd gotten in a little earlier, I kind of think I bumbled this one because I set my trigger at 255 with my limit at 257, just because in the past I've had bad experience of breaking over the $0.50 of 3 cents and then all of a sudden it just pulls right back down to like low 40s right away. So this time I was like, you know what, I'm going to get into the higher side of the $0.50. 257, and then if it pulls back into that mid-range 250s, I should relatively be okay. But you know what, it pulled back a little further, and I got stopped out. So and unfortunate because this was a great stock today. So came here, sold off from that high day it put in, kind of grinded along, put in some higher lows, popped up again, tried for the higher day, couldn't even break it, and then sold off, and then came down here, put in a bottom of 227, and that is when we actually saw the action start, and it started putting in higher lows, kept pulling back to the moving average, grinding nicely along this 50 EMA that I've got set up on my daily, my 5-minute and my intraday charts. So I started marking it up. I didn't actually make a trade here. I had a trend line drawn, and I was just kind of watching it and grinding up, and I'm not ready to just recover from a trade right away and jump a red trade and jump right into another trade. I'm still mentally trying to come to grips with myself, and I don't want to be that guy that revenge trades trying to make his money back that he lost. I took a $36 loss on that trade, plus $9.95 commissions, so that's putting me up close to my $50 max for the day. And I felt, if I take another trade and it's red, this is the mentality I was going through. If I take another trade and it's red, now I'm going to be well over what my max loss is. So, it didn't get, I was hoping to get a little cushion on the day where I could, in fact, make another couple trades during the day. It's nice to get that little cushion, take a little green trade in the morning, and then you can kind of, you can look at some other trades and you can make some plays throughout the day. You shouldn't always think like, oh, it's free money, I could lose with it, but it's nice to have a little cushion on the day where you could say, all right, I could go, maybe a little bit of bigger size. It's a nice setup. So, yeah, this is what happened. It grinded up, and as soon as we started to see it was going to make it over these couple little tops put in, and these previous kind of high days, it popped right up into the whole dollar, where it kind of flagged here, got overextended off of the 9 EMA, consolidated and pulled back to it, and then it popped up, tried for that whole dollar again, and then it sold off, and it consolidated along these moving averages. And this thing was just a monster all day. We saw some real nice consolidation through lunch hour, grinding along, came down, and then right here again, we started to put in, we had a pop, and then we started to put in higher lows, higher lows, higher lows. Very, not a lot of higher low, but this thing grinded up and it moved along moving averages all day long, to a high of $4.88 on the day, for 197% total. So very painful for me to get stopped out here down in the 250s and look at this stock up in the 480s. I don't really suffer from FOMO, but you can't help but just, fear of missing out on it. But as soon as you feel that fear of missing out and you try to jump in on a stock, you know what? You will end up on the losing side of it, because if you look at this stock, we grinded in the high side of RSI all day long. We popped over it in the end of the day, but we were really nosing up into this high side of RSI. And it's almost like we were just kind of consolidating the whole day, but just grinding up slowly, 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 all the way up the moving averages. And this is the 5-minute time frame on the intraday. And you can see here, we just kept pulling back to that 20 moving average, tapping it and taking off, pulling back, tapping it, pulling back, tapping it, pulling back, tapping it. So some great opportunities to get in here on the 5-minute, pretty much higher lows all day long. But this thing was already over 100%. RSI was sitting up here in the 70 kind of range, close to overbought, and it's just one of those things. Do you take the leap of faith and jump in? I know Lutz did, and he got stopped out too because his stop was too tight, because he was hesitant. He ran a tight stop because he was hesitant, because he knew that if there was going to be a significant pullback or sell-off, it would be deep, and there's no point in it pulling back so hard it might skip over your stop loss. You're better off just to set a tight stop, keep your eyes on the game, and jump out of the trade any signs of it pulling back. Unfortunately for this one, the pullbacks were healthy, and we saw this come up, and it's holding here into the after hours. Actually, it held into the after hours. So this will definitely be on watch for tomorrow. Possible short maybe because of this big 200% move. I would love to see a short, but because of the grinding and the consolidation through here, it also had a chance to actually build some decent support at some of these levels. So it could be a little short down here, maybe a short down to 350. But realistically, through here, this was some nice, healthy consolidation all day long. And in my opinion, that was a chance to build nice support resistance. So that's the trade for the day, CBLI. And again, if you guys have any questions or anything, let me know, subscribe, like, or comment. And yeah, that's it. So we'll see you tomorrow in the chat room and on the trading floor. Okay.